Today we have former light heavyweight champion, straight from Jamaica, Glen, the Road Warrior Johnson. This guy beat all the top light heavyweights in his era and is truly one of the greats of that golden era of boxing. Let's get into it. We got the Road Warrior. There he is. There he is.
What up? What up?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm hanging in, man. What's going on with you?
You look good. I like the beard. It looks good.
Yeah.
I'm trying. My girl want me to have a beard, so I'm
Got a lot of frosting.
You're in Glen, you're in Miami, right?
Yeah, Miami, Florida.
So you moved to Miami when you first moved from Jamaica. You went to Miami and you lived there your whole life?
And I live here the whole time. I never left.
Wow.
I said, once you find the best, why move around and play with it?
You know, Jeremy, you're kind of cutting out again. I don't know if you need to go closer.
I'm sorry.
So, Glenn, I read somewhere that you didn't start boxing until you were about, what, 17, 18?
No, 20 years old.
Oh, wow.
Woo!
Yeah.
Wow. And you know, that could maybe account for, you know, you fought into your 40s and you were pretty fresh the whole time. You know, maybe you think that's one of the reasons because you started later, so your body had less mileage?
I mean, that could be the case, or maybe I just took good care of myself, while a lot of people screw around with their bodies. You know, they drink and they take drugs and they do all kind of stuff and then want to get longevity. Don't work like that, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I stay natural and work hard and take care of myself and don't pimp myself out to all of the influences that's out there. That might be a cause of it. And also, you know, you never know. Maybe I haven't gone through some of the stuff boxers go through in their youth when they started at 8 or 10 years old. That might have something to do with it. I don't know.
Mm.
What part of Jamaica are you from?
I'm from Clarendon, which is like central Jamaica, right in the middle of the island.
Ah, so yeah, it was quite a hike to get to the ocean, huh?
Yeah, I mean it's a good little I want to say about 30 minutes ride.
And, shit. Yeah, where I live, like 30 minutes from the ocean too, man.
Yeah, but your 30 minutes and my 30 minutes, a big difference. You're going to cover a lot more. You're going to cover a lot more mileage in your 30 minutes than I'm going to cover with my 30 minutes driving in Jamaica with them badass roads they got out there.
Well, we have traffic out here, so.
You're driving on highway maybe. Yeah, you're driving on the highway doing 55 or know how you drive. You're probably doing 80.
So what was your amateur background like, Glenn? How many fights did you have?
I had 40 amateur fights, 35 and 5.
Why you picked up amateurs late? Wow.
Yeah, I only had 3 years of amateur fighting, so I started boxing amateur when I was 20 years old, and then I went all the way till I was 23, and then I turned pro at 23.
You fought at 75 or 65?
Oh, you started at middleweight, right?
I started at 78. What are you talking about in the amateurs, or are you talking about professional? Yeah, in the amateur, 78, and then I worked my way down to 65.
Wow.
And then I turned pro at 65, fighting middleweight, and then I get to where I got all the way down to 160.
What was your most comfortable weight between? Because you also fought cruiserweight a couple fights, right?
No, I fought cruiserweight just one fight. So my most comfortable weight, I would say 75. That's where I was the most successful in boxing. So I would have to go with that weight.
You were. I mean, you fought everybody in your era. You started your career off 32-0, correct?
Yeah. 32-0, and then I run into the bad man Bernard Hopkins. And he,
Bernard. What do you remember about that fight? Like, what stands out when you think?
I remember everything about that fight. I mean, I remember when the bell rang and I went and stepped to him and threw my first punch, and he treated like it was nothing, and I recognized right away I was on a different level of boxing.
Yeah, bro, beautiful fight.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I did. It seemed like you know what I was doing before I did it. But I mean, I know what happened though, because after I got enough experience, I realized I was showing my punches. You know what I mean? I was telegraphing, and he was able to read what I was doing. But I didn't have enough experience at that time when I fought him to know what was going on. I just felt like he was reading my mind. I like, man, this man is, he's, what I'm going to do before I did it. Everything was just so simple. He blocked my punches easy. He slipped my punches easy. And then he hit me when he wanted. I didn't like it. So I went home and trained even harder and studied harder. And then when he saw me again, he came to Miami and was looking for sparring. I think he was getting ready to fight Trinidad. I think that was, I sparred him for that fight. He was the first person outside of myself to say, "Man, you're gonna be a world champion," because he recognized he was a different guy than the one he fought. Because I kicked his ass then. Keep on begging him for a rematch, and he would never give it to me because he know I was ready. He know I was ready the next time.
Oh man!
You fool me once, right?
Huh?
You can only fool me once.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he got the win. Like everybody, most people who fight me and get the win. There's only one person who rematched me, and he rematched me because he got the loss, and that was Tarver. Everybody grabbed the win and run. And the other one who lost against me didn't want the rematch. He just never take it, and that was Ry Jones. So he took his loss and said, "You know what? I'm just going to move on. I don't want no more of that."
So you tried.
Hold on. Do you think historically Jamaicans create better fighters than just regular American black people?
I mean, I can't say that. I mean, America have so many more fighters than Jamaica. I mean, Jamaica probably have 10 fighters that really make a mark in boxing.
But the ones that really make a big mark.
We interviewed Razor Ruddock. Do you know Razor Ruddock personally?
No, I don't know Razor Ruddock personally. I knew Trevor Berbick personally. I've never met Simon Brown. I've met McCallum. I know him personally.
Do you claim Lennox Lewis as being Jamaican at all?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, listen. If you have anything to do with Jamaica and you become successful, they all claim you. Yeah. They only don't claim you when you're not successful.
Yeah, I mean, you had, you were talking about all the rematches. You had so many close fights, right? It must have been like, of all your fights that you ended up losing or drawing, or what was the most frustrating fight? Which one bothered you the most that you didn't get the victory when you know that you won?
Man, all of them.
All
That's
of them.
Champion right there.
All of them, bro. They all bother me equally as much. I mean, they all hurt just the same. I mean, when you go out and you earn something, whatever that is in your life, and somebody just take it away from you because they feel like the next person deserve it for whatever reason over you, that means they don't have no love for you, no love for your family that you have to provide for, no love for all of that. So when you think about what goes into a robbery, you have to recognize just the disrespect and the lack of love that goes into that, and it all hurts the same.
Hey, The Montel Griffin fight. What do you remember about that one?
I remember. Well, I remember when I was in the ring, like that first round, when I was trying to hit him on his head movement, the stuff that he was doing. I remember I was like, I stopped for a second. I was a little confused. I was like, okay, what is he trying to do? I don't understand, because he was making some good head movement, but then he wasn't punching. So I wasn't for sure understanding what he was doing. So then I just make up my mind to just go after him, and then I just start going after him, and then
Yeah, I
I
mean,
was able to cancel out all of that.
that's
So
impressive because I think you're one of the few people to stop him because he was a hard guy to stop.
Yeah,
You know.
it's a hard guy to hit. I mean, after like for like 30 seconds, I was trying to figure out, his head movement and what he was doing and stuff like that. And then I just said to myself, you know what? Forget about trying to study what he do. Just step to him and fight. And then I just stepped to him and start fighting him. And then I didn't worry about hitting him into the head so much. I just was big into the body because I was able to find the body. So I
yeah,
just started focusing more on the body, and then he started leaning his head towards me, and that's when I was able to get some headshots in.
Jeremy, you fought him what, 4 times in the amateurs?
yeah,
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 him and Jeremy fought for the Olympic qualifier in the final, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Um,
And we fought.
Tell us, how did those 4 fights go? Did he whoop on you all 4 times? Did you whoop on him any other time? Talk to me.
Losses.
Huh?
I got 2 wins and 2 losses. We split it right there.
Okay, 50-50. All right, all right. So both of you guys was pretty even.
That little bastard. This is my death, but he's a little bastard, I tell you.
You have a relationship with him?
Oh yeah, I'm cool with everybody, man. I don't.
Where is he? I haven't heard anything about him in a long time.
we interviewed him. He's in Chicago. He
Just,
runs. He has his own.
He's from Chicago. He's from Chicago.
Yeah, and he lives there now, and he runs a gym there. And he actually does stand up comedy too on the side, which is funny.
Oh, really? Is
yeah.
it?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen him perform.
Oh, you should tell him send you a tape.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Marco,
tell him send something you can see see what's going on. I mean, you could post something on Instagram or something. I'll let
yeah.
you.
Marco owns a comedy club in New York, so he could come and perform for $50.
Word. Yeah, I'm not funny, bro. I don't know nothing funny. I can't tell you no funny stories.
So
Well, what do you spend your days doing now?
I mean, I'm teaching right now. I'm teaching fighters. I'm training them, trying to get them ready for the boxing career, and giving them all the knowledge that I have in store up in the coconut, and trying to pass it on to the next generation.
you know,
Huh?
my favorite fight of yours was watching you beat Tarver the first time. Personally,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. Was that as gratifying for you? Because I loved every second of that.
Oh, well, thank you. Nah, I mean, whenever time you're on the big stage, for me, whenever time I was on the big stage, man, I always embrace those moments because I felt like everybody was watching. I was fighting people like Ry Jones and Antonio Tarver. Even if they wasn't watching for me, I know they were watching, and that's all I wanted. I get a chance for everybody to see me and see what I can do. So I embraced those moments. I didn't have nothing personal against none of these guys. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't really have, I don't know them like that to have anything really vindictive feelings towards
Right.
them. For me, it was all business. I just kick ass and go home.
Nothing
Was
wrong with
there
that.
was there any fighter that you fought that really got under your skin that you actually didn't like that you could remember?
Nah, no, I don't think so. Not really. For me, it was always business. I mean, once we're in the ring, I don't like you, but once we get out the ring, we're cool.
Man, that makes sense. I mean, I'm a lot the same way, man. I didn't.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I
I mean,
like.
once
Yeah.
the bell ring, no matter how me and you cool and we shake hands or we might embrace or whatever the case may be, when we outside the ring, once the bell ring, all of that is out the door, and we scrapping. It's like we hate each other. I mean, even though I don't feel that way, but the action is like that because I'm coming, trying to
Yeah.
Yeah,
get.
yeah. I mean, and you were in that era where it was like you and Hopkins, where you guys started in your 40s, started being still really successful, really active, really competitive, and winning championships. Um, and you said that you attribute that to basically starting a little later, but also just taking care of your body and living clean, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I never allow my weight to get over 10 pounds, whatever weight class I was fighting. When I was a middleweight, I maintained a 10-pound off-season weight. When I was super middleweight, I maintained a 10-pound off-season weight. When I was light heavyweight, I maintained a 10-pound off-season weight. I never allow my body to get more than 10 pounds over where I fought. So, and that up and down body weight that people do. If you give me a phone call that, Glenn, hey, you're fighting within 2 weeks, I can be on my fight weight.
Wow.
But
What would a day in the gym look like for you?
I mean, for me, we go in and shadow box a few rounds, and I'm a sweater, so it doesn't take me long. I throw 4 punches and I'm sweating. I'm warmed up. I'm ready to go. So I would go in there and shadow box a few rounds. I didn't like jump rope, so I hate that. I jump rope very little in my career. Because I just felt jump rope was boring and don't do nothing for me. Can't make me tired. It don't, I mean, the only thing you could do is warm me up. I mean, it would make me sweat, but I could jump rope for 300 days, never stop. It's just boring. Um, and and so I would just shadow box a couple of rounds, warm up. Then I'll put my if I wasn't sparring that day, I would hit the bag like 8 to 10 rounds, and then after that I do like my sit-ups and stuff like that, few push-ups. I always try to get to about 200 sit-ups in, and then I'd go running. If I didn't run in the morning, because sometimes I alternate where I run in the mornings, and then sometimes I run at night after training. Depends on how my morning was.
Hmm.
I always get my running in every day, so it's just a matter of what's going on in the morning, what I have to do in the morning, and then I might move it to the night, and then and vice versa.
um, okay. So let me ask you the age-old question: of all the fighters that you fought, who was the hardest puncher?
The hardest puncher, I probably would say um, Tavares Cloud.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Tavares. I have like one of those back and forth fight where I would clock him and he clocked me. I'll clock him again, he clocked me back, and we just keep clocking each other. And you were
Uh,
like, take this. You said, no, you take this. I said, no, you take this. He said, you take this.
What
uh,
what fight if you had to make one, you had to do one more fight, who would you fight of all the guys you fought already?
All the guys I fought already, who would I fight? I would say Bernard Hopkins because he's the guy who beat me, and I've never gotten a second chance to feel like I improved from that moment against him, and to show the world that I improve and then become better. So out of everybody I fought in my career, if I had a shot, might say who I fight again, that Bernard Hopkins will be the guy.
and you said that you had sparred with him years later, right? And you whooped him.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. If he, if I could tell him that in front of his face anywhere, and if he's truthful, he would tell you the same thing.
Mm.
Um, so you're you fought Clinton Woods twice, right? That was you beat
I
him for
fought him Woods, I think, three
three
times.
three times,
Yeah,
and you won that was the IBF light heavyweight title.
yeah. IBF light heavyweight.
And I mean, uh, were the championships important? Like, were those some of your most gratifying victories, winning the belts, or was it other?
Yeah, definitely. Nobody go into a boxing gym training to fight. Say, oh, I want to fight a particular fighter. Everybody walk in the gym say, I want to become world champion. So when you become world champion, that's the most gratified. That you finally fulfill your words that you would use
Right.
when you're in the boxing gym. You know, it
But
becomes.
but I could imagine, beating Roy Jones, which, by the way, I'm still upset at you for, even though he wasn't champion at the time.
You get over it eventually. You get over it eventually.
I don't know if I will. You and Tarver, man. But I can imagine beating Roy was even though he didn't have a title was a
No, I
great
did. I was the champion in that fight. I mean,
right.
I mean, so yeah, no, it was very gratifying beating Ry Jones. I mean, Ry Jones was somebody that I told friends that I would beat if I get a chance to fight him, and they mock me, laugh, and make fun of me. If you know Jamaicans, if you have any friends
Yeah,
if you hear them mock you and make fun of you and laugh at you, it's not an
yeah.
easy thing. It's a rough swallow. So when I got my to
That's
fight.
funny. That's how Americans are too.
Oh yeah. Well, trust me, I'm not around the Americans all the time, but I'm around the Jamaicans all the time. They're not nice people. When they come into mocking and laughing and making fun of you, they make you feel like you want to crawl under a rock and go die, bro. I'm telling you. But yeah. So and these are your friends too. You think they would
Yeah,
have your back a little bit, you
these
know?
are your close friends.
Yeah. So I when I got my chance to fight Ry Jones, I know that was in the back of my head. I have to prove my point that I was making, or if not, I'm gonna prove them wrong. So when I came out full 100 because I know that I wasn't gonna play around with this opportunity. So
Were you surprised that he was just kind of laying on the ropes and basically like letting you, or I don't know about letting you, maybe were you surprised at the
no,
way
I was surprised because I've been studying Ry Jones for a long time. Ry Jones don't like pressure, and if you stand in front of him and let him do what he want to do, he will pick you apart. He's super fast. He's
Yeah.
very athletic. So you can't let him just stand there and do his thing. You have to force him into doing things he don't want to do. So that was always my game plan, was to go and listen. I tell myself, if Ry Jones was going to beat me, he was going to knock me out fighting him. He's not going to knock me out standing around trying to study what he was going to do next, what his next move, because his next move is too fast. So if you stand around and wait for him to make up his mind, because he don't even know what he's going to do next. So if you
Yeah.
stand around trying to wait on him to make his next move, you're going to find yourself on your back. So I wasn't waiting around for him. I was making the fight. I was making what my move going to be. That's what I was concerned about, not what his move was going to be, because you can't do nothing about his move. So I stayed on top of him, stay fighting, take away room from him to jump around and do his thing, and make sure that he was fighting. And I know Ry Jones like to throw 2 or 3 fast punches and stop and breathe and recover. When he recovered, throw 3, 4, 5 fast punch again and stop and breathe. I was going to take away all of that breathing time from him. You know,
And we
and let
would
him sit around and breathe and recover from the punch. If he threw 10 punches, he was never going to recover from them. He's going to have to keep fighting.
we
All 10. So long as I
yeah.
was knocked out,
Okay.
he was in the fight because I was swinging at him. He was not going to go rest. And that's what people do. People allow Ry Jones to throw punches and then stand around and he'd move his head and duck for how many seconds and recover, and then they stand around and watch him do that. That's not a winnable game
oh,
plan with Ry Jones.
So
I hate stuff.
hold on. But we did you find that the second half of the fight when Roy got tired, his punch power went down tremendously or no?
Oh, everything went down. When you're tired, speed gone down, punch output goes down, everything goes down.
Yeah, we talked to who was that yesterday, Marco?
Virgil Hill.
Virgil Hill, and he said the
Yeah.
second half of the fight, well, whenever he got tired, it went from a 10 to a 5. His
Oh
power.
yeah. That's nothing special to Ry Jones. That's all of us.
Uh,
That's all of us. All of us, man. When you're tired, you know you're throwing and you're trying to breathe and recover and all that stuff. You're not throwing as many punches as you would when you're not tired. That's special to Ry Jones. But the way how Ry Jones punches, Ry Jones is a flashy puncher. And those flashy punches takes up energy. And if you let the fighter recover from those flashy punches and the energy just use up to throw those flashy punches, you give him the time to recover from it and do it again, you can't win that fight.
So that said, when what you would do is when he would throw those fast 7-8 punch combinations, after he finished that, you jump right back on him.
I would be right on him, make him defend, and make him have to be trying to throw punches again. Don't let him stand around and recover. You know what I mean? That's what a lot of these guys they do. They stand around and they let the fighter recover. They don't make the fighter fight.
No, I mean,
there's a lot. Listen, it's not just talent alone win fights. There's a lot of other parts that goes into it. Heart, determination, willing to risk it all to win. Some people want to win, but they don't want to risk it all either. Right? Jones is one of those guys. That's why he fought the way he fought. You know what I mean? There's not a part of them who's willing to die. You have to have a part of you that's willing to die for what you believe in. You know, these guys, you know, they just hot when it's cute and when it feels good and safe.
Damn, Glen's gangster. So let me ask you a question. I don't want to talk about this Roy thing anymore because it's giving me heartburn.
I told you would get over it now.
The Antonio Tarver, would you say that Tarver was one of the smartest technical fighters you faced, or no?
Tarver? I wouldn't say that. Tarver was just a big guy. He was able to take punishment because of his size. He is like one of the biggest light heavyweight that I ever fought. I mean, sometimes I wonder how he make 175 pounds. When he get on the scale and I'm looking at him, I'm like, this scale gotta be real. There's no way this man weigh 175 pounds. But he's a big guy, and you know, he used that size to his advantage.
So who would you say was the best technical fighter you faced?
I would say the best technical fighter that I fought is Chad Dawson.
Really?
Yeah, I think Chad Dawson was an amazing boxer. He do everything from the right position, good jab, good left hand, good balance, good movement, good hand speed, good power with the hand speed. You know, but he just ain't got the heart. He just not, you know, he one of those guys who like it when it's cute.
I mean, you first fight against him, I think you won that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he so you're saying he didn't have heart, so when you pressed him, he would kind of, you take some of the gas out of the car?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you see, they have to bring him in his hometown to fight me the second time to make him feel more comfortable. You know what I mean? And so, you know, we fought, you know, Orlando, I think, or Tampa, one of those places up north. We fought the first fight, and they figure that they would beat me easy and have no problem. And when they recognized the fight that it turned into, and they recognized that they had to fight me again, because that's not something they wanted to do, they had to take it to his hometown where he can feel a little more comfortable. And he outboxed me that fight and won that fight clearly. But yeah, that first fight when it was more like a neutral ground, he didn't have the courage that he had once he was in Connecticut.
Where'd you come up with the thing that you would do where you kind of put your, you know, do the thing where you shrug your shoulders after the fight? How'd you come up with that?
What happened? But I did what now?
You know the thing you would do after you'd win, you'd kind of go like this? You kind of did that?
Yeah. Well, it's not a shrug the shoulder. I just fold my arm. That means yeah, you fold your arm. That means the work is done. I'm finished using them. You know what I mean? That is finished. Yeah. So it's kind of like you use your gun and you put it in the shield, in the thing. Yeah. That's what my mindset was when I would just roll my arm and say, yeah, the fight is over. It's done.
That's cool. Very cool. That's very cool, man.
Yeah.
If you had to fight again, and you could fight it any way you could, what way would you fight?
If I could fight, I mean, I would go back to light heavyweight. It would be 75 pounds because, like I said, that's where I found my most success. That's where I was. I felt good. I felt like I did what I needed to do. And I felt like there was nobody in the weight class that could, you know, push me around and stuff like that. I felt like when I fought Bernard Hopkins at middleweight, I just felt like I didn't have the stamina, I didn't have punching power. I didn't have anything at that weight. Maybe I drained myself too much to make 60. I don't know. But
Yeah, makes sense.
at 68 and at 70, I felt a lot better.
Would you ever do one of those Legends fights now if somebody offered it to you?
I mean, it depends on who and how much.
So you're open.
You see how I retire with all the hard fights I have, and I still have some brain cells, and I still have this good look.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not risking that for any little chump change. You feel me? I feel like I put my hard work in when I was a young man. Now I'm an old man relaxing. I ain't going to take no more punches for some chump change.
Is there any fighter that you really wanted to fight when you were active, but you never got the chance to?
Yeah, Joe Kazagi. He
Ooh.
ducked me times.
He ducked you?
Yeah, Joe Kazagi and I have 2 contracts to fight each other, and he ducked all of them. When I fought Roy Jones, it wasn't Roy Jones I was supposed to fight. It was Joe Kazagi, and he ducked out the fight twice. We had contract written to sign and everything to fight. And on my way to the airport, he called that he had something. I forgot what he said was wrong with him, and he had to postpone the fight. We postponed the fight, I think, for like 3 weeks or a month later. And a month later, like a week before the fight, he called and postponed the fight again. So I told my manager, screw that guy. I don't want to ever hear his name or anything again. So we decided to start looking for another fight, and that's when we got the Roy Jones fight.
Wow.
Yeah, so he would have got what Roy Jones got. It was training camp. I never came out of training camp. Like the first time he postponed the fight, I stayed in training camp for the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever it was. I stayed training, and then once he postponed the fight again, I stayed in training camp, and we got the Roy Jones fight, I think, for like 2 months later, and I stayed training the whole time.
Yeah, I think your style would have given Calzaghe a lot of problems.
Oh, he will say bye-bye.
Oh.
Some good night would have happened in that fight. All of that talking he do.
So what is
Straight talking.
What do your days look like now? You go to the gym?
My day, yeah, I mean, I wake up early. I go to the gym, train. Sometimes I train some corporate people, trying to get them in shape and stuff, and then the fighters start trickling, and then I start training the fighters all the way till around 8 o'clock at night, and then I come home, take a shower, and chill. I would be in my bed watching this Heat game. You see that game? That's why I keep looking over, because you guys make it my Heat game. You know what I mean? So I keep looking over, checking out what's going on every so often. So you keep seeing me looking over. That's because I'm checking on my Heat game.
he trains me too. Julie and Prince. You train them?
Yeah.
Julian.
I train Julian. He's one of my young fighters. He's coming along.
So let me ask you a question, Glenn. What do you think about these YouTube guys that are boxing now? Do you think it's good for the sport, or do you think it makes it kind of cheesy?
Well, I mean, listen, I don't begrudge any man from making money. If you can find a way to make legal money, I'm all for it. So they doing what they're doing. They ain't messing with nobody. They ain't taking money out of nobody's pocket. Everybody who's spending their money, do it willingly. So leave the man them alone. Let them make their money. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I think I'm gonna hate on them making their money, and you take that away from them, and they stick me up in the street because they don't have a way of making their money. I don't want that. Leave people alone who making legal money. You leave them alone. I'm glad they have a job and making some money, because if they don't have that job, they're probably doing something illegal, and that might involve you in some way along the way. You never know.
Did you have any fighters that you looked up to that you idolized, or that you followed their styles? Anybody that you looked up to, fighters?
Yeah, I have a lot of fighters that I look up to. I mean, I like Roy Jones. That's my favorite fighter.
Really?
Yeah. Roy Jones, my favorite fighter. Mike Tyson, another guy, one of my favorite fighter. But the guy that I would look up to or idolize was Marvin Hagler, because I feel like what he was doing was similar to what I do. So
Yes.
so I emulate some of his stuff just from the right hand stand, even though he's doing it from the left hand stand.
Yes. You know
And
what? You did have a similar style. That's absolutely right. You did look similar to him.
yeah,
Not a bad image to try to be. Not a bad image to. How you going? Trying to say?
You're not a bad thing to copy. I get it.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Right.
You have to you have to look at certain things and know what you can do. And I know I wasn't a flashy fighter. I wasn't going to try to be like a Roy Jones. I mean, I started out boxing trying to be like Muhammad Ali, and then I
You didn't.
realized that wasn't my thing, so I had to change that quickly.
I had the Muhammad Ali thing too when I was a kid.
Yeah,
It didn't
exactly.
work. It didn't work. He was
how,
way better than me.
Glenn, how tall are you?
Um, uh, how tall? I'm 5'11".
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I thought because you would stay low. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
because I wanted to be there. So if you follow my career, you realize that I started out boxing as a boxer. I was boxing for a while, and the last time I boxed is when I got robbed. In the Blue Horizon I fought against what is this guy name?
who was it? Was it for a title?
No, it wasn't for a title, but it was one of those. I think it was Tuesday night fights, and
Oh,
you
USA Network.
remember when USA was showing Tuesday night fights
good
at
on
the
that.
at the Blue Horizon. I fought Jokers. No, not
The blue.
what is there was an Arab fighter.
Oh, Omar Shika.
Omar Shika. Yes, when I got robbed against Omar Shika, that's when I decided that forget about the boxing thing. I was going to be a fighter. I was going to just go in and just
Right.
grind and try to knock people out. Because I was super angry after that fight. After they robbed me in that fight, Emmanuel Stewart was working his corner, and
Yeah.
I just felt like they just that was very painful for me, and I just came back to the gym with a very
It
angry man
hard.
and with an angry style.
It was hard to fight at the Blue Horizon because there's
Oh,
people above your head yelling shit, talking shit to you, throwing
I
shit.
know, I know.
I remember
But
I fought
that's
there.
the atmosphere I love, because I don't care nothing about people talking. You know what I mean? I enjoy all of that.
Are
Yeah,
I
you
yeah.
went to England and fought, and they talk a lot of trash, and that got me going. I like it. That get my motor running.
who'd you fight in England, Frock?
Oh, I fought so many people in England. No. I fought Frock in Jersey.
Oh,
Called Frock in Jersey. But I had like maybe 5, 6 fights in England. I
Wow.
fought in England a lot.
Oh, shit.
wow. I mean, that's so. Your last fight, you were I think 46, right?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, that sounds about right.
And what made you at that point just hang the gloves up?
Well, I lost the fight, and if I lose to that guy, then it wasn't no sense for me to keep going. Because, I mean, I think I remembered. If I can't remember the guy name, but I think he had like maybe 15 fights or something like that. I mean, he wasn't a talented guy. He was a tough guy, but I just felt like if I'm going to lose a fight to an upcoming kid that
Yeah, no, it makes no sense.
I
Right.
don't think at my level, then it didn't make any sense me moving on from there.
I tell you, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
But hey, you know what? Thank you for your time, Mr. Glenn. You've been a great interview. We'd love to do it again if you ever have time.
All right. Thanks. Reach out. Let me know. Like I said, this. Normally I'll be watching my game. You guys stole my game time from me, but I
Gonna
for,
let-
I try. I try to forgive you. I'm working on it.
All right. Well, we'll talk soon and we'll do it again.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right, thanks, brother. Stay
All right.
care.
Thank you.
Yes.
Have a good day.